If you run a small or medium-sized business, this video could be the most valuable 5 minutes of your year. I want to talk to you about the way to protect your business from your employees at a sensible cost. The story starts with my father. He ran his own small business, music publishing, mostly sheet music, but he was also the manager of a rock band, which is what the TV show Rock Follies was based on. Anyway, he employed 11 people at the business's peak. His attitude to law was that it was too expensive and uncertain to get involved in. In a sense, the law wasn't for small businesses. When I became a solicitor, I wanted to do law in a way that would allow people like my dad access to justice, just like the big companies. So what's the likelihood, though, that a business will end up in a formal dispute with an employee? Looking at the numbers, there are about 1.5 million companies which employ people in the UK, and 100,000 claims presented to the employment tribunal each year. You divide one number by the other and you get 15. So on average, there's a 1 in 15 chance of being sued in the employment tribunal every year. That's 4 times more likely than it is for you to suffer a fine. If your company is sued for, say, discrimination, your legal fees could easily be £25,000, and you could be ordered to pay another £25,000 in compensation. And honestly, that's on the low side. That's one case. Imagine you're sued twice in 1 year. And as a defendant, you don't really have a choice about whether to be involved in this. Well, you can settle right at the beginning, but then you get a reputation for paying off everyone who leaves, and they've all got their hand out. I've had clients like that, and it costs more in the long run. Where we are is you have a 1 in 15 chance of being sued by an employee, and it could easily cost £50,000 in legal fees and compensation. And then there's the time distracting you from running your business and the stress of a court case. The problem with lawyers, most people who use a lawyer are impressed with the quality of the service provided. That's not the problem. The problem is the cost. It can be expensive to go to law. And what's worse is that the costs are uncertain. So you know that the lawyer charges hundreds of pounds an hour, but you don't know how many hours they'll spend. There's only one way to keep costs down. You spread the risk. The monthly fee with our retainer is low because, in all honesty, you probably won't call. But if you do, we're here ready to jump to and help you. Because we have a number of companies on the HR Shield retainer, those that do call are subsidised by those that don't. It's just like insurance. The risk is spread across a number of people. And because you have access to a specialist solicitor, if any people issues do come up and we help you deal with them, the chance of being sued is reduced even further. But it's even better than that, actually, because you're not restricted to calling when you have a claim or a grievance. You can call if you have an employee who's not performing, or if you need to make a redundancy, or for any reason whatsoever. You basically have an in-house lawyer. The idea is that it works like insurance. You pay us a monthly amount and you contact a legal expert whenever you need one. And of course, you get insurance to cover your legal fees and compensation if you lose in an employment tribunal. Why choose Fenton Elliott? How does the Fenton Elliott HR Shield compare to others on the market? Well, first of all, with us, you get a specialist solicitor, someone with a university law degree, a year's further study for a professional qualification, and then 2 years on the job training before being able to be called a solicitor. So that's 6 years training, the job training, before being able to be called a solicitor. So that's 6 years training. Clever wording from the big companies that offer similar retainers suggest you get an equivalent to a solicitor. They're careful to talk about legal experts or employment law specialists. You probably won't get a solicitor. You'll probably get a clerk with a flowchart on their computer screen, and you won't get proper advice. And with the solicitor, you get the benefit of privilege. Privilege means that nobody can see our correspondence or notes or letters. It can't be disclosed in legal proceedings. Advice from an HR advisor or specialist legal advisor must be disclosed in legal proceedings. The more you think about it, the more important you can see that it is. You can speak to us with complete honesty and openness because it's always completely confidential, because we are solicitors. What we offer, we want to provide proper solicitors at a price SMEs can afford. We want small businesses to have the same access to justice as the big boys. We should all be on a level playing field. And this retainer gives total peace of mind. You get employment tribunal insurance so that if you are sued by an employee, you don't pay any legal fees. And if you lose, you don't pay any compensation. And thirdly, HR legal advice. You get to call us whenever you think you might have an issue, and that might be to help you calculate holiday pay, or if an employee's raised a grievance against their manager, or if an employee's not very good, or if you need to make any redundancies. My dad could have done with this service because it cost him money to pay people off. So they all knew that's what he did. So they all asked for a payoff when they left. I wanted to provide a service that could have helped him and everyone like him. And this is it. It's what my kids call a no-brainer. Have a look on the website to see the price that you're likely to have to pay. And if that's in the right ballpark, give me a call and we can talk about it further. Thanks.